What's up? It's your boy Carcino here, and let's talk about something different that no one seems to be talking about right now. And let's talk about what's going on around the world with the president making this deal with Cuba. They're actually starting to do tours, and they're planning on doing cruises where you can take a cruise to Cuba now. With this new deal that they put in place, no longer will Cuban fighters have to risk swimming in shark-infested waters to try to get here and die trying to cross the borders and come over to America. Now that's just a trip away, and it'll all be legal. And this opens a bigger door now, because now that Cuban boxers can travel here to the United States to get bigger paydays, you're going to look to see a lot more Cuban fighters in the game of boxing. Now they say, well, the Cuban style isn't that entertaining to people. But when they start winning fights and beating all these other fighters, then what are you going to have? Because pretty soon, it's going to be low cost, low rent to get a Cuban fighter to come over here and box. But be careful what you ask for. Because the Cuban fighters are so well equipped that you just can't pick anyone and put him in with your guy, because he can make your guy look really bad, because they're very technical boxers. Now, this new deal puts Puerto Rico in a big state of, like, where do they go now? Because most of the fighters that's in Puerto Rico, some of them were Cuban. They were training in Ponce over there where they trained for the Olympics. And most of them tried to defect over into Puerto Rico and try to claim that they were Puerto Rican in order to stay, and they were Cuban. So it was a little bit more security around that situation. But now that scale is going to change, because now you're going to have Cuban fighters coming in battling the Puerto Rican fighters. Normally they would just take fighters from Puerto Rico because they had a deal with the United States. It's easier to get them. And you got Puerto Ricans over here, they follow them. Now Cubans going to be the same way. So it's going to be a little bit more of a balance, I think, instead of like 2-3 Cubans trying to hold a fort down, you know. And Casa Mayor to them, you know, was like the best that ever came over for in a long time. But now we're going to have other Cuban fighters that's going to come over and probably dominate the field or live up to the hype. Because I guarantee you they got a lot more than Guillermo Rigon now. But I'm very interested to see how this plays out, because I think it's going to be a floodgate of those boxers coming over to fight. It's not like when Teofilio Stevenson decided that he was going to stay and not come to America to fight. They weren't paying. They were just basically offering him $1 million. When he just was like, look, I live like a king where I'm at. I don't want to come to America for $1 million and then be around strangers. You know, it was a different time back then. You know, America was a little bit like extremely racist at that time against colored people, to where it was blatant, and like, why? And he saw the way Ali was being treated after winning the medal. So it was like, this is a guy who was treated the way he was treated after winning the medal. You know, like, and y'all don't want to give me, you know, y'all want me to come over and fight pro and fight the guy and get $1 million and all this stuff. He's like, look, I got 8 million people here that love me. don't need to come over there for $1 million and make that kind of money. I'm good here. So there he lived like a king. Money was nothing for him. So anything he wanted, he could have there. And that's where he wanted to be. He never wanted to come to America and do all that stuff. That was just not him. And besides him, all these other fighters in today's times, they want to come over here because now they see that other parts of the United States is just like Cuba, like Florida, just like Cuba. So it's like going home. Dominican Republic, everybody's in one big pot over there. It's one big cigar fest. So they'll be right at home over there. But I want to see how it changes the scope of boxing, because that's what I think is going to happen. That move with Cuba is going to be huge for boxing. Because a lot of those guys are going to get in the game and get into the mix. And a lot of these promoters and managers are looking forward to seeing what talent comes off that boat. Alright, man, I'm out. I done talked to y'all long enough.